In this video, we'll be covering the difference between mass and weight. So when I was learning physics first, which was like a month ago, mass and weight, maybe they seem like the same thing, but they're actually two different things. Mass is determined by the amount of matter there is in something. So if it's determined by, let's say, the amount of atoms. More specifically, the size of the nucleus, because the electrons can contribute to the size of atoms, but they have barely any mass compared to the nucleus. So I guess you can say the amount of atoms in something, or the amount of matter in something, determines the mass. And the larger the nucleus, of course, the more mass those atoms contribute to. But let's not worry about that. That's just chemistry. Just think of mass as the amount of matter or atoms in something. But weight is actually determined by the mass times gravity. So this is Newton's second law of motion. Gravity is a form of acceleration, so this could be ma as well. But I'm writing gravity because that's specifically in the case of weight. Weight is determined by the gravity of the planet that you're standing on. So let's say you're standing on Jupiter. Well, your weight is higher, but your mass is the same. Your mass will be the same because you don't lose any atoms. Well, you're shedding skin. But you don't lose any atoms. Let's say you don't shed skin. And let's say you go on Jupiter. Well, you're going to weigh more, but you're going to have the same amount of atoms in you. And the reason why you'll weigh more is just because of this gravity component here. And as you can tell, mass times gravity, well, that equals a force. That equals a force of newtons. What weights is newtons. The unit for weight is newtons. So when you're drawing a maybe you haven't learned this yet, but when you're drawing a free body diagram, which is, if you haven't learned this yet, I'll explain it. It's just a representation of all the forces in a system. So let's say this dot is the system. Let's say it's a box, let's say. Then you would just draw the direction of all the forces. Let's say someone's pushing to the top right, someone's pushing back in the other direction. But this one down here, pointing straight down, will be the weight force, and the rest of these will just be some push forces. So a free body diagram just represents all the weight, all the forces being applied to a system. But weight is simply just going to be a force straight down in most cases. And that weight is just determined by your mass, the amount of atoms in something, and your gravity multiplied by the gravity. And as a result, you're given a force of that planet that's pulling on you, and the force of the planet that's pulling on you is your weight. So as always, if you have any questions, put it down in the comment section.